welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Ready to Love, whatever season this is, episode 10. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I have been MIA for a minute. A lot was going on in my life at the time, but we are back. I think we're back for good. If you want to know my thoughts about episodes 8 and 9, you can catch the live from a few days ago. That'll let you know how I felt about what happened. But let's talk about episode 10. We were left in a cliffhanger, and the women in the bottom were Jessica and Sierra. Ultimately, Sierra was sent home.
I know exactly what I want and what I need now. I want to have fun.
This weekend is all about alignment and spending quality time with your connections. And I don't have to tell y'all what the stakes are.
Now, personally, Tommy, I would like to know what these stakes are with this show, because what are the stakes? I don't have to tell you guys what the stakes are. Please tell me, because it's looking very undesirable to want to find your partner on this show, honestly. The show was in the pits, guys. It's in the pits, but we're going to continue to talk about it, okay? So as we know, Maurier was the one saying which woman was going to go home, and he had used the word combative to refer to Jessica. That did not bode well for Jessica and Janelle.
Boss, tough, combative.
All the
Put them all on the
things.
table. You know.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out how y'all were comfortable using that word.
It's not a y'all.
It's not a y'all.
That's not a y'all.
We had a combative situation. It seems like she was very, very combative and kind of argumentative.
I was expecting the individual to step up and say, hey, I said it. This is the reason I said it. This is what happened.
We all know the word came from Chris. They didn't have to show us the flashbacks of Chris saying it. We know it came from Chris. I found it absolutely hilarious that Mr. I'm a man and I have integrity and I stand by the things that I say was doing the mute challenge, shut up Beyonce, in the room of people when they're being asked, so where did this word come from? Where did it come from? I'm of two minds when it comes to the word being used. I know that as Black women, there are certain tropes that we do not want placed on ourselves because they are regressive. However, I do believe when the word fits, it is appropriate for the word to be used. In this circumstance, I don't think combative fits Jessica as well as it fits Janelle, if we're being honest. I do understand them being upset that the word is being used, but to just blanket it to say you don't say that towards Black women, there are instances where Black women, myself included, can be combative. I'm just not one of those people who feels like there's words that we just absolutely do not use ever if it actually applies. Like if it applies, I don't know. And then if it don't apply, it's water off your back and you keep it pushing, right? Then you have Janelle and Jessica powwowing about the whole situation that happened over a cup of ice, which made me laugh because Black women tend to be on the anemic side of things. Even me, I'm acutely anemic. And so watching them eat some cup of ice, I'm like, ladies, we need to be taking our iron supplements because y'all don't want to end up like me a few days ago, passing out on live. You don't, listen, let's not play with our health like that. Put the cup of ice down. Get you some iron.
Oh, do I get ice?
Listen, I figured that's the least I could do.
When I ask you and you lie,
Yeah.
now I have a problem with you.
Jessica's hurt because of how I expressed who she is perceived to be. I don't feel that she's combative.
I know that Maurier feels a way because he knows that I feel a way about what was said.
And as much as I said, I don't feel like we can't use certain words because if they apply, they apply. I do side with Jessica in the fact of don't lie to me and don't be evasive. Chris is lying in her face, is lying in everybody's face, not taking accountability of the word combative, knowing full well he has said it on multiple occasions referring to Jessica. And then Maurier could have just said, well, listen, this is where it came from. Or even though I'm not going to say where it came from, I will say that this was a criticism. I could have used a better word to describe the consensus of how you were being perceived. And I didn't, and that was a misstep on my part. He just up and left because he didn't want to be a part of the conversation. Don't like a liar. Don't like somebody who's evasive. The guys do a little bit of fishing. It was piss poor, but honestly, they did a better job than I probably would. So more power to them.
It got tangled.
You ain't even got no bait. Is that little thing supposed to be bait?
Yeah, take that off.
No.
He can't take it out.
You just caught a fish?
You already know.
You better do your thing.
I'm trying to get dinner for you.
So, Quentin, you better step it up because it's looking a little blurry for us.
Quentin and Janelle's relationship is absolutely confusing because he wants to make it seem as if his options are still open, yet he fully indulges in Janelle zeroing in on him and doesn't ever tell her, you know what, like, I don't want you scaring the hoes. Like, I still have other connections I'm trying to pursue. He's allowing her to pigeonhole himself into this connection. So why he's still entertaining Lee, I don't know. Maybe he's just buying himself time so that he doesn't get eliminated. Who knows? Janelle's possessive. Can I call it possessive? I don't know. I don't know if I can call it possessiveness, but I feel like she's definitely marking her territory. Y'all could go ahead and be happily ever after. Honestly, who gives a damn? Who gives a damn? Nobody wants to be with Janelle at this point. And Quentin's only other option is Lee, who's being treated as if she's a second option anyway, so she probably doesn't want him either. Like, y'all could just be together. It's okay. It's not by force. Now that Lee is realizing she may not be the front runner in Quentin's lineup, she definitely is giving Chris a little bit more attention, who has given her a gift.
Because you're special. You know, you're a special individual.
So sweet. My goodness, I love
Like 'em.
it. Okay, Chris, I see you. I'm happy to see this effort. That was so thoughtful.
Oh,
I mean, a gift is a gift, right? It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts, right? It's the thought. Is it the thought? Guys, is it the thought that counts? She liked it, so I love it. All right, let's move on from them. Maurier sheds light on why he decided to leave the combative conversation rather than facing it head on.
Earlier, I wasn't showing you enough empathy and immediately asking you how you felt.
I thought it was extremely off-putting. It was unnecessary. And I don't even understand where that came from.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any ill will towards you. I'm not going to be nasty to you. I just think we just need to, keep it pushing.
In my honest opinion, I feel like Jessica is checked out anyways. So for her to be expecting more from Maurier, I'm like, but do you actually see potential with Maurier or no? You didn't fight it off with Chris. Who else do you like? Nobody. I would use the combative thing in my favor, and I would be like, you know what? I don't want to be in an environment where people see me as this villain, and so therefore I'm going to remove myself from the process. There's one extra girl anyways. Honestly, you're doing everybody a service. So this coupling does not make sense to me. Jessica wanting more from Maurier does not make sense to me. I don't get it. Moving on to another couple that doesn't make sense to me. Chris and Aries. He's doing this archery date. We didn't really learn much about them on this date, but I guess you could say it was cute.
Oh, I like that. So I gotta leave properly.
I know how to follow.
I intentionally didn't put any sights because I want you to kind of feel it.
Okay.
Everything we're gonna do is about feeling.
Come on, feel it.
I think for the life that Aries want, I would be more of a fit. I need to start shooting my arrows, so I hit my target.
I do not agree with Chris. He feels like he's the better man when it comes to him and Phil. I don't think so. I think that Chris is led by emotions a lot of the time. And as a woman of a particular age with children, I'm sorry, if I was Aries, I would not want to deal with that. I do not want to now have 3 children. And doesn't Chris also have a child? I would not want to put up with this. This reminds me of something I said a few episodes back, referring to Chris and why he might be attracted to Aries. She's a beautiful woman, but there are certain characteristics that he's drawn to, which makes me feel like, do you want a partner or a mom? I don't know. So I would not put these two together. However, Aries seems to be taken by Chris. So, okay, girl, if that's what you want to do. Another connection that makes no sense to me, Kat and Maurier.
I'm looking for that romantic chemistry side. Whether you were spiritual or religious, if you go back and forth, if you're struggling with it,
Yeah.
I support you.
This first stone I'm gonna give you, this is an amethyst.
Nice.
And I do truly believe that is like the woman stone.
I wanted to gift her with some of my personal stones so that way she can see, hey, I am very serious about this.
Hearing that Maurier wants to move out the country in 10 years was like, heck yeah, let's do it. I definitely want to date somebody who can see themselves living abroad.
I'm going to try to explain this because I don't know if it's going to make sense after I say it. It makes sense to me in my mind, but will it make sense verbally? I don't know. On paper, I feel like these two kind of are compatible. The things that she's looking for in a man, Maurier possesses. But I'm thinking, is she attracted to Maurier's lifestyle or is she attracted to him as a whole? I don't know if there's even like a physical attraction there. I don't know if she's attracted to his personality, but the things that he does and the things that he says, she likes. So if she could find a way to marry the two, then maybe I would buy into this connection more. But as of right now, it just seems like on paper, you're a good guy, so therefore I'm just going to go for it. But holistically, is she into Maurier? No. And I hate to say it, but I said this in the live too. Like, Maurier to me doesn't strike me as the guy who exudes like, how do I say this? I don't look at Maurier and think, damn. And it doesn't have to do with his stature or anything before y'all go off. It's just, he just, like, I see how he easily falls into the friend zone. He doesn't really flirt with the women. He's not really that romantic. He doesn't woo the girls. Like, he's just kind of there. And so, yeah, I don't know. Just, yeah, I don't see it for these two. I really wish that Janelle and Quentin didn't piss me off because aesthetically, these two look good.
Hello.
What's up, girl?
You look good. What is your choice of like conflict resolution?
Clear and concise conversation. I like examples.
Okay.
For me, accountability.
Okay.
So that I can identify, like, in that moment, what I was doing.
Quentin has the audacity to ask Janelle what is her method of conflict resolution. She's going to respond to say, I like clear and concise communication. Do you really? Because it seems like if people don't say what you believe is the truth, you tend to buck up a little bit. Furthermore, if you're not going to get your way, you like to then pull up on people. So I don't really know if this whole clear and concise form of conflict resolution is what you actually subscribe to. And honestly, Quentin, one, I would like to know why he asked that question. I feel like there's a little bit of inklings happening with him that he doesn't really want to admit when it comes to Janelle. Furthermore, has he seen Janelle resolve conflict in those ways? She has said, I like to do clear and concise communication. Have you witnessed clear and concise communication, Quentin? Have you? Have you heard of Janelle resorting to clear and concise communication, Quentin? Have you? I'm leaning towards no. Phil and Aries have a date. If I was to pick who was the front runners for me at this point, it would have to be these two.
There are some things that Phil and I have talked about that has led me to question his stability and what he's doing. Is it time to add a relationship?
I think that time is great now. It wouldn't have been great like 4 months ago. I like what I do, but then after that, I'm ready to laugh, live life, be happier.
I'm really hoping that he has all the other qualities that I feel like are necessary to take this connection further.
Aries is weary of Phil's stability. Valid. He says that as of 4 months ago, things have been on the up and ups, but 4 months ago is really fresh. Really, really fresh. A year ago, he lost his dad, I think he said, so he's been in mourning for a lot of the past year, but he's recently got back on track. He's reinvented himself, which is great. But like I said, as a woman of a particular age who's raising 2 boys, you're going to have an already made man. Like there's little give to want to then build a man considering the life that Aries is already living. So I would be wary of Phil too. And I'm wary of Ready to Love's vetting process in general because, honey, if Rashid can slip through the cracks, so can Phil. At the ladies' lounge, I was very disappointed by how the women handled the Jessica and Chris situation. I understand that the women do not like Chris. That the women don't like Jessica. However, to make it seem as if they haven't experienced something, therefore it cannot be true, I did not like that.
The one person who I have had these disagreements with has been Chris.
He told me he did not say that.
He told me he didn't say it too.
He was just like, I never said she was combative.
A coward would allow another man to stand here and take the fall for something that you said.
Have you seen any of those
That
things?
hasn't been my experience with Chris. If it had been, then of course he wouldn't be moving nowhere.
The women are swearing up and down that Chris did not use the word combative. He has. He has said it multiple times. Like, even if he didn't say it, we know that that is the essence of what he's trying to say whenever he's just describing Jessica. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the women are all saying, this is my experience with Chris. Therefore, what you are saying cannot be true because that's not what I've gone through. I don't like that, because in the same way that you can justify your experience with somebody being your truth, Jessica can say the same. I have experienced this kind of man. How are you going to nullify my experience just because it wasn't your experience? I don't like that at all. Like, go ahead and say, you know what, it's unfortunate that we have different perspectives on him, but if that's how you feel about him, I respect that. I do think Jessica was doing herself a disservice trying to throw shade at Jessica, basically saying, well, he can't buy my love. I mean, who did she throw shade at? Lee. Basically saying he can't buy my love, knowing that this just came off the heels of him buying Lee a gift. So yeah, definitely poor timing of that phrase right there. But for the most part, I'm kind of with Jessica in the fact that don't now just discredit me because you had a different experience. People show up differently in front of different people. We should all know this at this big age. So at the end of it, the conclusion was that the men at the bottom were Maurier and Chris. Maurier, it's the whole friend zone thing. I feel like this has been a story for his entire time here. Why are we keeping him around? I don't know. As we know, the main event was between Chris and Jessica.
I didn't call you combative. Whatever he said, that was on him. You were my first connection until I realized how of a person you were, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, you are combative. I'm trying to respect you as a woman, but you don't show me no respect.
You sure?
I'm a man first before I'm anything. You don't know about me. So you and everything about you.
This interaction was absolutely chopped and screwed because the conversation went from happy days to, and I never said that about you. Hold on, Chris. What's going on, Chris? Is everything okay at home? What is happening? So it's kind of hard to pick a side in this conversation because it is very, very, very chopped up. Owen needs to work on their editing altogether. It's just not good. Not at all. I know they're trying to tell a story in a way that fits whatever archetypes they've laid out for each person already. But if the story is going a different way, it's okay to follow that direction. Like, anyways, there has been some discourse on Twitter regarding something that Jessica said. Shout out to Chloe Johnson, who sent me this photo. Jessica saying that Chris threw a chair, but we're going to call her combative. There's an imbalance here. If he really did throw the chair, I don't want to see him at the reunion. I don't. Why are you being aggressive like that? Why are you being combative, sir? If we're gonna make a big deal about Zadia thumping what's his name, we can make a big deal about this chair situation. Absolutely. I don't know. I've already thought that Chris was kind of a fraud from time. And even in me saying that, I'm not even siding with Jessica wholeheartedly. I just think that two things can be true. I think that Jessica can have a stink attitude from time to time. Again, I wouldn't use combative per se, but I can see how people would deduce that of her. And then with Chris, I'm sorry, like, you're a fraud. You're a fraud. He has all these insecurities that he likes to project on Jessica and the other women, and it's very tiring. Apparently he was on Dear Future Wifey with his sister or something like that. Okay, child. I think you need to let your family go ahead and do this arranged marriage thing. Go and find yourself a traditional Nigerian woman. I think that is truly who he's best matched with. Go over there. I don't know what you're trying to do over here. Okay. Anyways, the next episode is the Meet the Family episode. So hopefully we get some honesty from these family members, because I'm tired of everybody sugarcoating. We know some of these connections don't make sense. Let's be for real. Okay. As always, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.